Good evening, House Church. So glad that we can be together. It's been really encouraging to hear a lot of the testimonies of how people are growing because they're asking questions and listening and hearing what other people are saying there in your house church. I think that this is imperative in times like this in our country, that we can listen to what other people are saying. And I think that it is so healthy for us, and we really can grow because of each other. Hey, we're in the middle of a series that we started called One Nation. So we dissect the Pledge of Allegiance. This week, we're talking about under God. Under God. That's an important part of our theology in time in our life when we realize that we don't know what's best for us. I want to encourage you to read a couple passages tonight, starting off in John chapter 14, verse 6. Jesus makes this radical statement. I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one will come to the Father apart from me. Under God, in light of that theology, I ask a question that I think is important. And what does it look like to live a life centered around God's wisdom instead of your own? How does that change your habits and decisions in life? What does it look like when Jesus is the Lord of my life and I live under his authority? That's a game changer, man, in every way. And it's beautiful. My second question is this, and it comes out of the passage in Romans chapter 13, and this is really trying, I think, in the character formation part of Christ. Paul's going to make this statement that all authority comes from God, and he says this to Rome. He's writing to Christians under the Roman Empire, which is radical. How do you react when people or scriptures don't agree with you? I mean, in life right now and in society, we see some really radical things on the internet with videos of people who don't react and they're going crazy. But on the micro level of our heart, sometimes we can really explode or really become self-righteous. And I believe that the Lord is using authority figures in our life to really get to the bottom of our heart. The last one is in 1 Samuel chapter 18 and in 1 Samuel chapter 24. These are beautiful passages where the Lord eventually would exalt this little boy David to become king over Israel. And I believe it's because of a lot of the character that we find in his life in the way that he responds in these situations. How do you honor someone who may not have your best interest in mind? Like when someone doesn't like you or treat you fairly or think of your ideas. How do you still honor them? Can you grow and thrive in a position where someone isn't a great leader? I don't know. But we talked about this week being under God's covering, under God's authority, and under God and under God's umbrella. Ella, hey. And I'm just thinking about what does that look like in our life? When God has placed man in our life to be a symbol of his voice in our life. In my life, I want to honor everyone that God has placed in and around me and take time to listen. What a radical concept. Hey, tonight, maybe even more important than these questions would be our time in prayer. We need to see prayer return to the house of God and to your house church. We are living in one of the most important times in our country's history right now. And I think knowing that we're just days away from the elections, that we would be praying for all the cities in our country, that the Lord's will would be accomplished. I think God's going to put some beautiful prayers in your lips. Tonight, let's ask God to move. God bless you guys.